If you've ever thought to yourself, I want to be healthy, but I still want to eat sugar, well, do I have the thing for you? Raw, glyphosate-free honey is the way to go, undoubtedly. It's the reason I can eat brownies and still be in the absolute best shape of my life. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly why honey is so much better than its alternatives, and specifically sugar. Too many people think honey and sugar are the same thing. They're not, and here's why. First, let's break down what sugar is. Sugar is pure sucrose, which is a mix of fructose and glucose. It comes with absolutely nothing, and when you eat it, you experience a number of things, including a very fast reaction by the body. It absorbs fast, causes you to crash, spikes blood sugar, which means it spikes insulin, promotes the bad bacteria in your gut microbiome, and also promotes fat storage, specifically around the midriff. And when talking about sugar, there is absolutely no difference between Demerara sugar, brown sugar, regular sugar. Yes, there's depths of flavor, and if you want to bake and perhaps make a really nice cake or a really nice apple tart, there's a reason and an argument to be made between regular old sugar, caster sugar, and brown sugar. The best sugar you could potentially get is coconut sugar. It's still processed, but it's a more raw state of sugar, and it comes with certain minerals, unlike most other sugars. However, one of the reasons why sugar is so negative for us is because it's easy to consume and requires absolutely no processing within the body. The thing is already in its most processed form, and with that most processed form, the absorption in the bloodstream is practically instantaneous. The primary difference between sugar, honey, and even fruits, for that matter, is the medium in which the sugar is actually put into the body, into the system. Sugar comes with absolutely nothing. It comes with nothing that can help you digest it. Raw honey comes with numerous different compounds that help you digest the sugar found in the honey, including enzymes like invertase and diastase, vitamins, particularly B vitamins like riboflavin, niacin, and B6. And among all of this, minerals such as calcium, magnesium, zinc, and iron. And it works the exact same way for fruits. Fruits, yes, while sugar is a component of their whole, it is not the only thing that enters your body. You get fiber, you get minerals, and again, you get vitamins. The massive difference here is the actual boat in which the sugar is placed into your body. When you eat honey, you experience completely different effects than you would when you eat sugar. For example, due to the enzymes found within the honey, you get a slower release of sugar in the bloodstream, letting your body actually combat all of the negative effects and properly digest the sugar without spiking insulin all too much, reducing the chances of getting diabetes. But not only that, there have been some studies that suggest that honey can actually lower resting blood sugar levels in diabetics. Along with that, the steady release of sugar in honey helps with a steady release of energy as well. And due to its prebiotic effect, it also supports a healthy gut microbiome, the exact same way fruits do. So honey and sugar are not the same thing. There is also an important distinction to be made between raw honey and the regular processed honey. The regular processed honey goes under a pasteurization process. Now, you might think that that's important with milk, and there's certainly plenty of reasons why you could say that. But with honey, you're not dealing with the same stuff. You see, honey has over time been known to be used as an antiseptic and even for its antibacterial properties. People used to put it on wounds, quite deep wounds, in order to help them heal. This is because the honey prevents any bacteria or foreign bodies entering the gash or wounds that you might have sustained. So the argument here is completely different than the argument between raw milk and pasteurized milk. But what is the same is that raw honey keeps all of the positive nutrients and enzymes and everything like that within its raw compounds, its makeup, whereas processed honey gets that beaten out of it due to a very high temperature pasteurization process. And the best scenario is finding out whether the honey that you're eating is not only raw, but actually contains a high level of glyphosate or pesticides or other herbicides like that. If you wonder why there are many different types of honey, it's because bees get their pollen from different plants. Now, whatever pollen you get from the different plants, you end up with a different type of honey. For example, this milk thistle honey is completely different and comes from a completely different flower or plant than this regular old Rouse organic honey. And while they might have different base properties, the idea stays the same. This one over here is high in beneficial enzymes, high in vitamins, and high in minerals. This change in source for the bees also takes into account whether you're getting the pesticides or herbicides that might have been sprayed in the ground or on the plants when they were growing. So get your honey tested, and at the very least, get organic honey. That one, at least, you know, shouldn't have any of that kind of stuff. That being said, if you're wondering why I have this, I mean, I don't think it's the best version of honey. This is homemade from Bulgaria, where I'm from. This is farm stuff coming from a grandma in a village where they haven't even heard of pesticides or herbicides. Another thing that I know is that in the UK, it is actually illegal to sell processed pasteurized honey. So even this is technically raw. Now, I don't think it's the highest quality, certainly not. It's mass produced in a factory, probably somewhere. But it's better than anything pasteurized, that's for certain. So honey, sugar, and fruits, completely different things. Two of those, honey and fruits, are beneficial for you. Sugar is not. That's not to say that you shouldn't eat sugar. You should just minimize the amount of sugar that you do eat. I'd suggest personally, instead of going out and buying sugary sweets, you use sugar as people of old would have used it, to bake your own sweets, cakes, tarts, and what have you. This takes effort, and so chances are you're going to end up doing it less than if you were to go out and just buy it from your local supermarket. And finally, I just want to touch upon what you should use honey for and what you perhaps shouldn't use honey for. Honey still contains calories. As a matter of fact, there are more calories per gram in honey than there is in sugar. The difference is that honey is actually sweetened, so usually people tend to eat less of it. And it's definitely healthier. Just because it has more calories doesn't mean it's unhealthy. However, if you're looking to be in a caloric deficit, then you might want to be careful with the amount of honey that you're eating. However, due to its natural properties, it'll probably sate you far more than any sweetener or sugar would. Long term, it's also far healthier, and chances are you can build a better body and you can slim down a lot better on honey than you can on sugar or on sweeteners, which have been proven over a longer period of time to get people to actually gain weight instead of helping them lose it. It tends to give you a sweet tooth, and then people tend to just binge on anything else. The fact that it's 0 calorie definitely is a good thing, but only if you can control yourself after you've had that 0 calorie fix for your cravings. Honey has even been shown to promote good sleep, so 1 teaspoon before you go to bed could really help. And also before training and even for recovery, honey works perfectly. Personally, I simply suggest you use it as the natural sweetener of your choice. You can use natural maple as well. However, I personally prefer honey. It has a lot of different variants and I find it absolutely delicious. This white one is from milk thistle and it's great, not for baking, but actually for glazing, kind of like a donut thing. This over here though, it's perfect if you want to make brownies, if you want to make pancakes, whatever you want to make, this one works just fine as well. So those are the differences between honey and sugar, where I would use one and where I wouldn't use the other, and where I would use one and where I wouldn't use the other. Honey, pretty much you can use at any given point. Obviously, try not to overeat it if you're trying to lose fat. But other than that, there is virtually no negative to it. Honey is natural the same way meat is, high quality meat, the same way eggs are, the same way dairy is, and the same way vegetables and fruits are. Now, to some people, sure, maybe they wouldn't be able to handle honey the same way some people can't handle vegetable and certain fruits. However, for most of us, it's perfect. So give it a try and stay undeniable.